Thank you very much, Presiding Officer. Good afternoon to everyone. As you may know, the Valley Stream community was hit with a very unreasonable tax, whereby the IDA, the Industrial Development Agency of the town of Hempstead, approved a tax break for Green Acres Mall run by Masons Corporation. As you may have seen on the news, this has caused a lot of anger amongst the residents in Valley Stream. I understand that Legislator Gaylor represents also Valley Stream, and I have provided a copy of my statement to all of my colleagues here today before this statement. And the statement reads in part that the tax rates in this item are based in part on the aggregate assessed value of the taxable property on the tax roll. So this item is directly affected by the decisions to grant tax exemptions, such as the highly questionable decision by the town of Hempstead IDA to grant an exemption to the Green Acres Mall property. I believe the tax rates in this item are tainted by that decision, and that this body should refuse to vote on this item until a further inquiry can be made into by a new town board, IDA, into the property of the Green Acres pilot agreement, and whether the exemption was legal under the IDA law and whether the pilot was properly calculated. Based on information belief, Fred Parola, the executive director of the IDA, had a conversation with the assessor, the county assessor, Mr. Davis, in which he stated, I incorrectly calculated the tax. I forgot to add the school and general tax alone. We all have seen many pilots, but this pilot in particular has had such a devastating effect upon the Valley Stream community that it begs the question, what happened there? Obviously, the supervisor of the town of Hempstead, Mr. Santino, has made a statement saying that at the next town board meeting, he plans to fire them. He would not have fired them if they did not do anything, if they did everything correctly. In addition, I'd like to please note that on September 26th, this body voted whether to approve the assessed value for all property in this county. I abstained from that vote. Despite what some individuals are saying that I voted for that, I abstained from that vote. Therefore, this vote that I will cast today I respectfully ask that this body not call this item, for those reasons that I mentioned. If the exemption is granted, then the tax rate is incorrect here. I asked to move to table this item. I have reached out to my colleague in Valley Stream, Mr. Gaylor. I implore also Mr. Becker, his predecessor, who cares greatly for Valley Stream, to please encourage this body to not call this vote. Again, I apologize for my abrasive nature at times before some of my colleagues here on certain issues, but I'm asking you respectfully. I fear that at a future date, because this body is going to miss the opportunity to undo something that's very wrong, we will have this room packed with Valley Stream residents who are very upset. Mackenzie, again, I apologize, but I'm asking you respectfully. I'm going to get to it, okay? But I have to do this, okay? Mr. Coppell, please. Please. Okay. Please. I just want to finish because this is very important to me. I personally will have to pay over $1,500. So, okay, extra. Okay, so again, I ask you please, respectfully, to not call this vote, and I thank you, Madam Presiding Officer, for this opportunity to speak.
Motion to table.